Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind the scenes of a cannibal scandal? Deep in the heart of the American South, where the Spanish moss hangs low and the tea is sweet, there's a darkness that lurks just beneath the surface. It's a place where tradition and history collide with the unknown, where the unwritten rules of the past can sometimes lead to unspeakable horrors. And it's in this world that our story takes place, a world that's about to be turned upside down by a scandal that will shake the very foundations of this quiet southern town. In the sleepy town of Ravenwood, where everyone knows everyone, the whispers had been circulating for months. Whispers of something sinister, something that threatened to destroy the fabric of their community. It was a rumor that seemed too outlandish to be true, but one that would soon become a harsh reality. The town was known for its warm hospitality, its rich history, and its love of good old-fashioned comfort food. But what they didn't know was that one of their own was hiding a dark secret, a secret so depraved that it would make your skin crawl. Ravenwood was a place where time stood still, where the past and present blended seamlessly together. It was a place where legends were born, and myths were made. But it was also a place where the shadows were dark, and the silence was deafening. Introducing Sheriff Jimmy Wilson, a man of the law, a man of the people. He was the one they called when they needed help, when they needed guidance. He was the one they trusted with their lives. But what they didn't know was that Sheriff Wilson had a secret that would soon be exposed for the world to see. Then there was Dr. Emma Taylor, a brilliant forensic anthropologist with a penchant for the unknown. She was the one they called when they needed answers, when they needed the truth. But what they didn't know was that Dr. Taylor had a connection to Ravenwood that went far deeper than they could have ever imagined. As the rumors began to circulate, the townsfolk started to get nervous. They didn't know what to believe, they didn't know who to trust. But one thing was certain, something was about to blow, and when it did, it would change the face of Ravenwood forever. It started with a disappearance, a young girl who vanished into thin air. The police were called, the investigation began, but it wasn't long before they realized that this was no ordinary case. The evidence was scarce, the clues were few, but one thing was certain, something was off. As the days turned into weeks, the tension mounted. The townsfolk were on edge, the police were stumped, and Dr. Taylor was getting closer to the truth. But what she didn't know was that she was playing with fire, that the closer she got to the truth, the closer she got to the heart of darkness. It was a typical summer evening when the scandal erupted. The sun was setting, the crickets were chirping, and the town was bathed in an eerie twilight. It was a night that would be etched into the memories of the people of Ravenwood forever. In a shocking turn of events, Dr. Taylor and her team made a discovery that would change everything. They found evidence that would blow the lid off the scandal, evidence that would expose the dark underbelly of Ravenwood. The news spread like wildfire, the townsfolk were in shock, the police were stunned, and Dr. Taylor was left reeling. The reaction was immediate, the reaction was intense. The people of Ravenwood were demanding answers, they were demanding justice. As the days turned into weeks, the investigations continued, the truth began to unravel. The townsfolk were left reeling, they were left wondering how this could have happened in their town, in their backyard. The legal consequences were severe, the accused were brought to justice, and the people of Ravenwood were left to pick up the pieces. But as the dust began to settle, the questions began to rise. How could this have happened? How could they have missed it? In the aftermath of the scandal, the town of Ravenwood was left to rebuild, to recover. The people were left to wonder, to question, to try and make sense of it all. The scandal had exposed the dark underbelly of their community, it had exposed the flaws, it had exposed the fears. But as the town began to heal, as the town began to move on, the questions still lingered. How could this have happened? How could they have missed it? The answers may never be fully known, but one thing is certain, the scandal had left its mark, it had left its scar. The town of Ravenwood will never be the same, the people will never be the same. The scandal had changed them, it had changed the way they looked at the world, it had changed the way they looked at each other. But as we close this chapter, as we close this story, we're left with one final question. What's the real cost of a scandal? Is it the lives lost, the lives ruined, or is it something more? Is it the loss of innocence, the loss of trust, or is it the loss of something far deeper? Thanks for watching. If you want to share your thoughts on this shocking scandal, please leave them in the comments below. And if you want to watch more true crime stories or shocking scandals, be sure to check out our other videos.